Buckle up for another episode of Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
This is a curse! Help me!
What are you doing?
The magazine! I can't stop!
Wait, this just says popular mechanics for kids.
I can't. Why would you?
Let's get into it.
Ghost Facers! We're facing ghosts! We're others, we're not! We're ghosts! Ghost Facers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghosts! Ghost Facers! We're facing nightmare! We're facing dread! Ghosts! Ghost Facers! We're facing faceless! We're facing dead!
Welcome to Ghost Facers. Today we're discussing Season 7, Episode 15.
Yeah.
Out with the old.
Yeah, and in with the groove.
I did just perfectly time music to starting this episode.
It was weird to just be listening to music and then immediately transition into recording.
Well, it's like we haven't got a radio show.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Ghost Facers.
We go from podcasting back to terrestrial radio.
I mean, people are probably doing that on their car rides.
Yeah, would you listen to us on satellite radio?
Oh my God, please. Yeah, I mean, somebody is already making money from satellite radio.
I make as not a lot, but
more money than I'd expect anyone would
make
expect you to make on
not a lot, but still absurd amount of money from satellite radio.
Insane. Download.
It's Stand Up North, Shredded and Dead.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Comedy album that I'm on.
So fucking good.
Me and a bunch of other amazing Yukon comedians.
We just passed the 1 year anniversary of it.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And I won't tell you what dollar anniversary we passed.
Yeah, I wish more artists did that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of anniversaries, this episode aired March 16th, 2012.
Oh, is that an anniversary?
No, I just meant like it's a date.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Speaking of dates,
yeah. March 16th is one.
here's a little date.
Yeah. And here's a date.
This episode was written by Robert Singer and Jenny Klein.
Okay.
Directed by John F. Showalter.
Right.
Viewed by an estimated
last week was
1.74.
Last week was 1.74.
That's right.
This week's 1.8 again.
1.73.
Oh, losing ground.
Tiniest bit of a drop.
One of these days we'll get back up to 5 mil. I'm sure of it.
Did we hit 5 mil?
That was where it started. That was the pilot.
Jesus.
5 million.
God, what people wouldn't fucking kill for those numbers now.
I know.
That's insane.
I'm not even sure if 5 million people watch the Oscars.
I mean,
Like,
now, yeah, hard to say. All right, well, let's watch the promo.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna say something that's gonna make me sound stupid.
Yeah.
But were a couple of the shots in that promo not in the episode?
No, I don't think so.
What was the shot of like the person turning around like out on the sidewalk? Was that Misha?
Oh.
And what was the shot of Sam strapped to the gurney?
Hold on. I'm rewatching it right now. So the kid walks up to the gramophone.
That's all in the episode.
Here's a spooky
That's
thing.
great.
Girl
But then we
kicks him
get
in the
Sam
head.
on a gurney. And then right here.
Oh. Yeah.
Those shots aren't in the episode,
No.
right? Like I'm not watching some weird
No. Yeah, you watched the
version.
Japanese dub version?
Yeah. I watched the Hungarian one.
Yeah.
But I'm right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Those are not in the episode.
Insane. So bad promo.
Stuff that's not in the episode. Yeah, I mean, that's how boring this episode is.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
It's so boring that halfway through it becomes a different episode, and that one also feels too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it, but
Yeah.
remember. But before we do, let's go to international titles.
All right. So sorry, what is this episode called again?
So
Out with the Old?
Out with the Old.
Right.
This episode was originally titled Another Man's Treasure.
Oh.
It's about cucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Very different episode.
We've got 2 titles this week.
Only 2.
Yeah.
France and Hungary.
Nope.
Germany and Hungary.
That's right.
Okay. So out with the old. The German title is
We want to get out with something.
Take out the trash.
Yeah. In the millions.
Yeah. Only the best can survive.
Yeah. No. The German title is about the first murder and a reference to it.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. The first one is the ballerina. Goodness gracious, feet are on fire. Also not what happens, but
No, I mean not
Yeah.
far from it, but
Sure.
no, no. It is a reference that is made.
but she's going to explode, foot explode.
Yeah. Gonna foot
Still fits the German accent.
Yeah. Hey, remember that time that you made a joke about with the German accent about like gas chambers? I think.
No, it was about burning people.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I mean, I bleeped it out. I don't remember what it was.
No, the German title is About Black Swans.
Is it though?
Is it? No.
Is it?
No,
though?
it's not.
Nah, it's barely.
No.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
any way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Hungarian title.
Okay.
The Hungarian title.
Hungarian title is like "Don't touch grandma's things."
Yeah, no. The Hungarian title is talking about the C plot in this.
Oh, bad day for real estate.
No, that's the B plot.
Oh,
I would
sorry,
say.
C plot.
Yeah,
of the-
yeah.
Oh,
It's one word.
Still crazy after all these years.
Love that. It's one word though.
Lucifer.
That would be
That would be amazing if
that
this
is some,
episode was
that
called
would
Lucifer.
be such a fucking Hungarian title.
You don't see him.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They call this episode Lucifer.
I would fucking love that. No, the Hungarian title is
It's like Insomnia or
that's
something?
exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
okay.
It's Insomnia.
Gotcha. Again, not what this episode's about at all.
No, the C plot in this
Yeah,
episode.
thanks for coming out hungry. Yeah.
I think that the main part of this episode is the guy where he can't stay
Yeah,
awake.
remember that scene where you
Yeah.
can't sleep and how it never comes up again?
Yeah. It's in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
All right. Featured music from this episode. We haven't had one of these in a while.
All right, hit me.
Great exit track on this episode. Bad Moon Rising
Yeah.
by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, and I can't remember the word for it when they do it in a show where
yeah.
it becomes music in a scene.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Is.
That's not a needle drop. That's just
No,
what you call when you put.
Heck, you keep going. I'm going to figure this out.
Okay. TV Guide describes this episode as Sam and Dean investigate after a ballerina dances herself to death, and their probe reveals that the ballet slippers the victim wore are cursed.
Yes.
When Dean accidentally touches them, the curse takes him whole.
Diegetic music.
Is that what that is?
That's what it's called. It's music that comes it's called source music too, but it's music that comes from like the world of your narrative.
Hmm.
So when you're like watching a show and you hear music and then they go and the music turns off, you go, oh, they were listening to that. That's diegetic music.
Do you know when they like show a scene that doesn't have any audio, but you can hear someone like talking over it, and then they cut to the scene where that person's talking?
Yeah.
It's called a J cut.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I know something about these.
Nope.
Did you have something to say?
I had a worse place for that joke to go.
You had something worse to say?
Okay, so the tryouts are over. We're going to have to, in order to get to our final roster, I might have to make some J cuts.
Holy shit.
Oh no.
Oh God, I'm so glad you're here because you always make me look better. What, something worse? Oh my God.
It's bad. It's not good.
Holy shit.
It's not good.
I mean, depending on from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
All right, but before we talk about today's episode,
Jesus Christ.
let's open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore.
Let's see what the lore says about cursed objects.
Ooh.
We've talked a little bit about some specific ones before, but we haven't generally talked about it. I mean, it's funny, like, we've talked about hexes and stuff like that. So curse is a really broad term. It doesn't mean something specific.
I think we've talked about curses in general.
Exactly. There's not like one way to do a curse. And often when we talk about curses, we're talking about, like, we've talked about cursed land.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that in the show before. Yeah. Like bugs is a cursed land kind of thing, you know. We've talked about cursed people, you know, especially in the case of like bad luck or things like that.
Yep.
Or like the family does something wrong and they're cursed. You know, there's talk that the Kennedy family is cursed and stuff like that, you know. But you could also curse objects. Like things can be cursed.
This goddamn lawnmower.
Lawnmower man?
You're cursing the object.
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah. Nice.
Hell yeah.
But like a curse in general is usually something negative. Usually, if we're talking about the supernatural, the paranormal,
good curses.
Well, no, it's a blessing.
Yeah, sure.
A good curse is a blessing, basically. You know,
this object has been blessed. Yeah. I guess that is a thing. Yeah.
So there are good curses. They're just not called that.
Yeah.
Normally, like magic rituals require some kind of sacrifice. You know, some sort of blood or sigils or ingredients, or, you know, if we're talking about like hoodoo curses, there's things like a voodoo doll or things like that, right, where you usually need like something of the person. We've had that when we've talked about hex bags and witches on Supernatural.
Sure, yeah.
Right. There's the idea of the evil eye. You know, you hear about that in kind of like old Mediterranean kind of things. The evil eye is meant to be kind of like a curse sort of thing.
It does feel like a racist thing for some reason, but
I'm sure it's fine. No more investigation.
Yeah, about anything in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And curses generally are, you know, especially if we're talking about like the paranormal kind, it might have to do with like a wrong done to a person or to their family or whatever.
Sure,
you know, yeah. So I wanted to talk about some specific types of cursed objects.
Okay.
So one very ubiquitous, common one that you might have heard of is called a Dybbuk box.
Oh, I don't know if I know.
It's a Jewish, like a Jewish myth. So a Dybbuk box is usually like a wine cabinet kind of thing, but it's supposedly haunted by a Dybbuk, which is like a type of spirit in Hebrew mythology. But it's the box gained notoriety when it was it was auctioned off. There was a story featuring Jewish Holocaust survivors, paranormal claims as part of this description of this like one particular thing, but it's essentially the idea of the Dybbuk box is a relatively recent one. It's sort of like from the era of online auctions and that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, the guy eventually said that he made it up, but he made this whole story about like the Holocaust and survivors, and that there was like a spirit inside this kind of wine cabinet thing. But it's a very famous example of it, and it's kind of become like a little bit of like a creepypasta kind of.
I was just gonna say, it
thing.
sounds like a creepypasta. Yeah,
I think it's a little bit pre that, but it's essentially that type of of thing. So there's a Dybbuk box. You've probably heard of the Crying Boy.
Sure, yeah.
So the Crying Boy is a painting, you know, like that was there were a lot of prints of this painting, and there was sort of a pattern that was emerging of houses burning down and this painting being there.
Yeah.
And in many cases surviving. And people were like, it's the paint, like,
sure,
this image is cursed. But it's that kind of thing where, like, when they made seatbelts mandatory, the number of seatbelt related deaths, quote unquote, skyrocketed.
Sure.
It was just fewer people were dying, but more of them were wearing seatbelts. This image was so popular. It was in so many houses that like most houses with it weren't burning down, but the ones that were burning down had it.
Sure.
So it was a sort of like, there was like a bit of confirmation bias going on with the curse of the crying boy or whatever. But yeah, it started in 1985. Yeah. There's just a list of places that burned down, basically, that had the crying boy.
Wow,
which is sort of funny.
I had as a kid, my grandparents had this painting in their house that terrified me. It was like of an old Scottish man with like a raincoat on, a big mustache, and
he
a pipe.
got closer and closer every time you looked away.
I mean, maybe he had a pipe in his mouth, and he just looked like pure terror.
Yeah.
And I remember because my grandparents would be like, all right, well, we'll just take it out of the room, and I'm like, well, no, because then it'll know that I took it out of the room.
I thought you were gonna say that they were like, all right, Richard, it's time to stare at the painting.
Yeah,
and you'd be like, no.
No, but what's funny is that my mother, when she was taking the stuff out of my grandparents' home, she was like, oh, do you want the painting? And I was like, no, I don't want the painting. So then she brought it to my little brother's house, and he was like, I don't want it either. We all thought it was scary.
That's really funny. Wait, what's that? Oh my God, it's here.
Oh, there's a painting in here that haunts people.
It haunts me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing Scottish about it is that this is what you wear under a kilt. Nothing. Another example of like a cursed object is the Annabelle doll.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's based on a real thing, isn't
so
it?
The Conjuring and those movies are based on the Warrens, who in real life had kind of like a museum of like paranormal curios and stuff like that. And supposedly they were like mediums or things like that. And this doll was supposedly haunted by the spirit of a girl and was like part of one of their cases. Now the movies, like it's real, you know. But in real life, it was just a doll in like this kind of museum that they had. So the Warrens. Okay, hang on. There's this thing about the doll. They said the doll behaved strangely, and a psychic medium told the student that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a deceased girl named Annabelle. The student and her roommate tried to accept and nurture the spirit-possessed doll, but the doll reportedly exhibited malicious and frightening behavior.
Oh.
I like the first sentence that it said the doll was behaving strangely. It's like, if it's behaving, it's strange.
Yeah. Not like how normal dolls act.
Yeah, I mean, this doll is not well adjusted.
Yeah.
So the Warrens say that at that point they were contacted. They moved the doll to their museum after they pronounced it demonically possessed. The doll remained in a glass box at the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, until the museum's closing. So that whole film series is based on this supposedly real cursed object.
Oh.
But there's also you've heard just more general things. These are very specific ones, like all three of these, the crying boy, the Dybbuk box, and Annabelle are like specific objects. But you've also you've heard the idea of, I don't know, like a gypsy pocket watch, or there's always the idea that a rabbit's foot is technically a cursed object.
I mean, look at
all of these kind of things are, the idea is that you're imbuing some kind of magical or spiritual property to these things, that like bad things befall the people that come in contact
There's
with them.
so much of a history of that stuff with like Egyptian lore and like
the tomb of Tutankhamun.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's a place, but anything with desecrating the dead or things like that, like any sort of ceremonial objects that are, or funerary objects, are generally like, they're not cursed until you take them, but then they're cursed. You know what I mean?
Why I never brought that Ryza statue back.
Yeah, well, listen, that's more of a blessing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Holy shit. Well, with that, we get into today's episode. We begin with the then.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh, because the episode's so boring.
Yes, it's boring. That's why I was sleeping.
Okay, cool.
Yep. That's the bit. Strap in, everybody.
yeah. Also, I've slept next to you. It's much louder than that.
It's fine. You piece of shit. You son of a bitch.
Sleep apnea, more like sleep dinner, yeah. Sleep entree, yeah.
Fuck you.
All right. In the then, we get cursed boxes.
Your mom is so fat she has sleep
Andrea.
He's a great joke.
My favorite your mom joke
That's
is
a great joke.
Your mom's so fat she walked in front of me while I was watching TV and I missed 2 episodes.
That's cute.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Then we get cursed boxes. This is
Yeah.
the thing. This is not the first time we've encountered cursed boxes. On
And in
this
this
show.
case, a box with sigils and stuff on it to counter a curse, a way to
Yeah.
safely contain a cursed
Totally.
object.
We get Bobby's coordinates. That's the thing we're still trying to figure out. We have like a location, but we don't really know what's happening there.
Yeah, we just know it's a field and they're going to build something.
Yeah, Frank's on the case.
Yeah.
Dick Roman's project in large, and like what is he up to?
Yeah.
What's happening with the Leviathan in general? And of course, the A plot of this episode: Sam seeing Lucifer, and he's real tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the right way to think about this episode.
I mean,
we get into the now.
all right.
In Portland, several dancers are packing to leave when they note that Arena isn't there.
Yeah, they're being suitably catty or whatever about
Yeah.
this other dancer.
Arena Koganzon comes in late and smirks, implying she has more talent than they
Yeah,
do.
she's like better than them or whatever.
This is the thing I saw on TikTok literally the other day where it was like trends like in movies, and it's like the ballerina that shows up and like is late and like flips off the like teacher, but
Right.
then it's like the most talented one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
One of the dancers mocks Irina by saying she just wants to be alone. So that's a reference from in the 1932 movie Grand Hotel. The Swedish actress Greta Garbo plays an overly aged Russian ballerina. At what point the character wanted to be alone, and that line is one of the top 50 movie quotes of all time.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was very funny.
It's a Grand Hotel reference?
Yes. And
Wow.
I love that it's like at one
Interesting.
point the character says, "I want to be alone," and that's one of the most
Cool.
famous lines of
Yeah,
all time.
nice. I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring to it as like the...
Maybe not today.
Maybe not tomorrow, but someday soon for the rest
Yeah,
of
yeah,
your life.
yeah, obviously, yeah.
I love that you knew I was going for Casablanca.
Yeah, it's no Rosebud, that's for sure.
Yeah.
After the others leave and only the janitor is left, Irina puts on her shoes, turns on the music, and starts rehearsing.
Yeah. I thought for a second, because I kind of forgot how this episode started, I thought for a second that the reveal was going to be that the janitor was like a Goodwill Hunting, but for dancing.
They do the way they
that
cut it.
That he was better at dancing.
The way that they
and that
cut it.
maybe he had something
Yeah.
cursed and it was making him, or he was like leeching her talent. Because they cut it where like he doesn't move and she doesn't move. And for a second I was like, is he getting better at ballet? Like,
Yeah.
Like I thought, for some reason I thought he was like siphoning talent.
Or maybe he was kicked out because he was too rebellious with his ballet
Or
moves.
that like the mop was cursed
Yeah.
and he was making her do
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The way they cut it,
It's
they
very
make
weird.
it seem like this janitor matters at all.
It's like
And he doesn't. Other
It's-
than they need someone to find the body.
I think the reality is that like someone had a cool idea for a cut, and that's why they did it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it has zero purpose of this.
Well,
episode.
I know, but it's just, it's so clearly like, listen, that's partly the issue with this episode is that these things don't really mesh all that nicely.
Do you know what the song is that's playing?
What's Swan Lake?
Yes.
What's from Swan Lake?
We have Princess Odette's death in
Yeah.
Swan Lake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you would know.
It's also in Fast X.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they also doing ballet?
He does.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like they're on like a bridge. They're doing like Fast and Furious stuff, and all of a sudden Jason Momoa is like, "Do you know I love ballet? Have you ever seen Swan Lake?" And then you literally the music just like,
This really is his Joker, isn't it?
oh, he's Car Joker,
It's so funny.
Joe Car, if you will.
Like Carjacker, but Car Joker.
Yeah, Car Joker.
Yeah.
Of course, there's Car Batman.
Yeah. Well, you mean the Batmobile?
Nope.
Garbage. Still my favorite thing. The janitor sees the blood spray on the walls after she basically can't stop dancing.
Yeah, she pirouettes until her feet explode, which is pretty cool.
I did have a question though,
Yeah.
because this comes up again. Is it that she can't, like, her feet are dancing so much, or is it that, like, it makes her whole body dance?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Because I was watching her and she's like out of control, but still like doing the pirouette moves and stuff.
This is always a tough thing with these things. Is like you need to show that something's out of control, but theoretically, it should be all of her, because what happens, everything else in this episode is a person is overtaken with an urge to do something. She
Sure.
seems like she's like, no, and her
Yes.
feet are like, what?
Yes.
Like she's the only one that operates like that. Like everyone else is like full body. Like she's the only one that has like a flicker in her eyes of like, oh no.
Yes.
No one else has that.
I mean, we didn't get to see the porno mag, but
Well, no, but I mean the gramophone one
Sure.
and the kettle.
yes. Yeah, it was.
There's no version of those where you see them
No.
go like the kettle lady doesn't go like, oh fuck, and then like do
Yeah,
it.
no, it's true. She's the only
So
one.
this ballerina's again sloppy,
Yes. 1,000%.
but it's not as dramatic if it doesn't look like she's scared.
Yes.
But she should. But she does. At any rate,
Yeah, we're just not as into it if she's not scared.
um,
As janitor harasses himself, the camera pans down to see the shoes magically off of Irina's feet.
yeah, and clean.
Yeah, which have absolutely no blood on them whatsoever.
Yeah, and I mean, and her feet are exploded.
Yeah, more important.
It's pretty cool. Looking.
It is.
It's a great effect. I really like the
Yeah,
look of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the cold open, baby.
Do you bleed out of your feet that quickly? I know that a lot of blood goes to your legs, but
Because the whole
she's cold dead when he walks in.
'Cause-
Her feet, like, there's no like, her eyes aren't blinking. She's not like, ugh.
yeah,
She's dead.
yeah. But I mean,
You die that fast when your feet explode? Hey, doctors, when your feet explode, how fast do you die?
yeah. Would it kill you if your feet exploded?
I mean, eventually, I know it would. I'm not dumb, but I just mean how fast. Let's just say, hypothetically, I wanted to know how long I could keep a person alive if their feet exploded.
just a
Yeah.
just a random.
Don't play this in court.
Yeah. Dean calls from Oregon and checks in with Frank,
Okay.
who reports that Dick is financing archaeological digs across the world. He admits that he hasn't found any activity at the coordinates in Wisconsin that Bobby gave them before he died.
Yeah.
Sam comes back with coffee and admits that he hasn't been able to sleep with Lucifer yelling inside of his head.
Yeah.
Did you notice what Sam ordered at the coffee thing today in this episode?
No.
He orders a triple red eye, which is the same thing he
Okay.
ordered in the Girl Next Door episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah. He's found an article on Irina's death and figures that something supernatural is involved.
Yeah. Looks straight down the barrel of the camera.
Yeah.
Maybe this is supernatural.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Or, oh, yeah!
Like Entourage.
Yeah.
Dean is doing the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah! The brothers drive to the Portland police station and finally get the
Sorry,
desk
to what
sergeant.
police station?
The Portland.
Portland?
Portland?
You said Portland.
That's technically what it's called.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's Portland.
In the way that it's also pronounced like Los Angeles.
Is it?
No, man.
It's New York City.
New York City.
The brothers drive to Portland police station.
Hell yeah.
doubling down, and finally get the desk sergeant to give them the crime scene photos.
So here's another thing that happens in this episode that we never follow up on, and it never means anything, and it never goes anywhere. Is the cops in this police station are super rude to who
FBI
they
agents, yeah.
assume are feds. And it's not a plot point. It's not like, oh, and this thing in this town makes people whatever, or this kind of stuff always happens in this town, or they're just for no reason, no narrative purpose, no plot purpose. This cop is just like, what? And we never come back to it, and it's never
That
you can have those in real life. You can have those interactions that are meaningless and don't lead to
sure,
something.
yeah.
But
you're
on
creating
TV,
narrative. Yeah.
There are narrative rules. You're actually wasting narrative effort and energy now by making that choice and doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
And this episode's so fucking full of that.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, when is the cop coming back? Like, the whole time I was watching this, I was like, surely he's connected.
Yeah, it's Chekhov's unloaded gun.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like if Chekhov came out in the first act and he was like, I'm going to load this gun and lean it here. And then you all left the theater and watched a different play.
Yeah, you were like, what happened to Chekhov's gun?
You're like, oh, yeah. Should we go back to our seats?
Yeah, is it not done yet?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
He goes to get them. Meanwhile, the evidence officer is bagging the toe shoes, and his
Point
daughter.
shoes.
What?
You call them toe shoes?
Yeah, I think that's what
They're
they're
point
also.
shoes.
I think they can be also called toe shoes.
They're point shoes.
Ballerinas. Let us know.
Who's more qualified to talk about ballet?
His daughter Tracy notices them. Her interest is piqued, and
She's
says,
like, I'm going to straight up steal evidence. And he's like, Tracy, we've talked about this.
yeah, only if it benefits the whole family.
Yeah. Only if it's Coke I can sell.
Yeah. What is this? Ozark?
Nice.
I've been watching Ozark.
That's good, yeah.
It's pretty good. Her interest piqued. She says that she's going to go to the bathroom and he tells her to go on her own. When she goes in, she discovers that the shoes are lying already on the floor.
I do like the idea that like she's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. You think she's going to like take them on the way, but she doesn't.
No.
But then she gets into the bathroom and they're there.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a fun little creepy thing.
And that's a thing with like cursed objects too, where it's always like you throw it in the garbage and then it comes back. That is a thing.
Exactly.
After looking around to make sure that no one is there, the girl puts them on and they shrink to her feet.
Yeah, like the fucking One Ring.
Truly. Sam and Dean go to the evidence room. Is that what it is?
Well, it's Ashnash
Oh my God, of course.
Durbataluk, Ashnash Gimpatul, Ashnash Thorakataluk, at Burzum Ishi Krimpatul.
God, you're cool.
That's black speak, baby. Yeah. Or
You're going to say urban speak? Oh my God.
as Tolkien called it. Yeah.
It's a token black speak.
That was Tolkien black speech. Every episode we got to do a little bit. That's Tolkien black speech.
Yeah. You know, we want to be diverse.
Yeah. I speak orc.
Yeah. Sam and Dean then go to the evidence room and ask to see the toe shoes. And the officer discovers that Tracy has taken them. He explains that Tracy loves the ballet, and the brothers run to the bathroom and find her wearing the shoes.
Yeah. I enjoyed this sequence.
The way it like forces her like to bounce up and start dancing.
Well, because she's, it's almost like an exorcism kind of thing, right? Like she's not in control. But I also like the comedy of Dean trying to get the shoes up.
Yes.
Continually being kicked in the face.
It's a good like little bit of comedy that they put into it.
But it's also funny that like the cop, they were just with that cop in the evidence locker.
Yeah.
And he was like, Tracy took the shoes. And then Sam and Dean run out of the room. I was expecting him to...
Why are you wrestling my daughter?
Well, no, I was expecting him to at least follow.
Yes.
Like, not necessarily that it has to become anything, but like he should be in the room.
Concerned about his
But he was
daughter.
Like, they seemed concerned about it, but I'm sure it's fine. I got paperwork to do.
It's not just my child.
Again, this episode is so fucking sloppy.
Yeah. I just kept being like, this is the longer they were wrestling her, the more I was like, this is bad.
Yes.
Like, someone's got to
Yeah.
see this,
Well,
right?
yeah, and then you're like, are they going to play that as a joke? And then they don't do that either. So
No.
we're not doing anything.
No. The Winchesters.
This whole thing's for nothing.
Yes.
It's a show about nothing.
Yeah, but it's not good.
No.
The Winchesters then go to the store where the shoes were purchased. According to the tag, it was called Out with the Old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a vintage, like kind of
Bad name for a vintage store, because that concept of Out with the Old is like in with the new. Like the idea is that you like old stuff is bad.
But I'm out with the old.
Yeah.
You're in with the old.
Yeah, which is bad.
And I'm the new.
Oh, I'm in you.
Yeah.
When they get there, they discover that the shoes have jumped from the trunk to the back seat.
Yeah, I like that.
And
That's
Sam
good.
says
and I
that-
do like that Sam is like, Dean, are you? And he's like getting the urge to. Well, he says the name of one of the characters from Swan Lake, and then Dean's like, yeah, I know Swan Lake. I've seen Black Swan twice because lesbians.
Yes. It's a dirtbag Dean moment.
But I mean, of the dirtbag Dean moments,
it's lesser.
it's fine.
I mean, you and I could have been dirtbags
Yeah,
about
I
that.
definitely didn't watch Black Swan a bunch because of that.
Yeah. Yep.
I also really like Darren Aronofsky. That's why.
I'm horny for Darren Aronofsky.
For his direction.
Yeah. His direction.
No, you don't understand. I'm jerking off to the direction.
Yeah. That J cut.
Uh-oh.
That just means they're circumcised.
Oh, yeah. Hey, do you have the old J cut? Are you J cut or not?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Attracted to the ballet shoes, Dean admits getting the urge to Prince Siegfried,
there we go,
himself
yeah.
into oblivion. Prince Siegfried is the male lead for Swan Lake,
Yeah.
the most famous ballet ever. Siegfried dies in Act 4.
Is it the most famous ballet ever? More than the Nutcracker? So I feel like the Nutcracker is top of mind every Christmas all the time. It's surely more famous than Swan
Yeah,
Lake.
but if you're going
I mean, Swan
to-
Lake's huge. I'm
Here's-
not trying to say it's not.
Here's the
but-
thing. If you're going to like parody ballet, it's Swan Lake.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, because I guess Nutcracker is too Christmas
Yes.
associated. Yeah.
When Dean is mesmerized by the ballet shoes, Sam calls him Baryshnikov.
Yeah.
Mikhail Nikolaevich Baryshnikov is a Russian-American dancer and choreographer.
And ex-boyfriend of Carrie. on, Sex and
Of
the
course.
City.
He's often cited as one of the greatest ballet dancers in history.
Weird that they landed him for Sex in the City. Like
It is a weird move.
Baryshnikov for no reason.
I mean, he does have sex appeal, but
no, I know, but it's just like
weird.
you're writing the show, be like, who should she date next? And I don't know, Mikhail Baryshnikov, and then you just get him.
Weird.
Or is it like, who can we get for the show? And it's like it came down to Mikhail Baryshnikov, Stephen Baldwin, it's like who's available? And
Bobby Fischer.
yeah, yeah, just people talented in other arenas.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. I think this sex is out of this world.
I mean, he could have hooked up with Miranda, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Not Carrie. Carrie, yeah. I don't have Sex in the City.
You know, I
opinions.
love a smoking hot redhead.
Here's the thing. I won't watch And Just Like That.
No, who would?
Why would I watch a Sex in the City without Samantha? Am I fucking crazy?
I saw a pitch for like a reboot of Golden Girls that had the actress that plays Samantha,
Oh, yeah.
right?
That'd be good.
She would play the horny lady.
As like Blanche?
Yeah. And they had the mom from that 70s show as Rose.
I don't hate that.
Right?
I don't hate that.
Right?
Well, shit.
I know. You could totally do it.
Although it feels sacrosanct. Like, you shouldn't touch Golden Girls.
Someone's going to, though.
I know at some point. Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a lot of videos with that title.
No, that's... Usually it's the word shower in between.
Oh, you're talking about J Cuts again?
Done net.
So, a neighboring store owner, we now see Mr. Marshall, is saying goodbye to a real estate investor, Joyce Bickleby,
Yeah.
and her assistant, George.
Yeah.
As they leave, George doesn't think that they're going to sell, but Joyce is confident that Marshall will get in.
Yeah.
As they leave, Sam and Dean arrive and discover that the store is holding an out-of-business sale. They talk to the owner, Scott Freeman, who admits that he sold the shoes that were in the box.
Scott Freeman, who is in no way Mr. Miracle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did wonder. I was like, it must just be a comic reference.
Or it's just like,
Coincidence?
you know.
There's no such thing as
Well, I mean, like the term Scott Free that exists pre Mr. Miracle.
But it's Scott Freeman.
No, but in the comics he's Scott Free.
Oh.
I was just making it.
Oh, okay. Based on supernatural detective work, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah. Yep.
And these fucking FBI agents need to get out of here. As Sam examines the box, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Dean starts to examine the shoes, and his brother yanks them away from him.
Yeah.
Scott explains that he found the box in the back, and his mother passed away weeks ago.
Yeah, and then he comes out with like a big, or Sam goes to check or something. They come out with like a curse box. And he's
Yes.
like, I found it in this.
Yes.
They're like, oh, Jesus.
As Dean goes to the back, Scott explains that there are more things like them. Dean returns with more boxes, and Scott and they ask Scott what was in the rest.
Yeah. And then they're like, we need to know like names, addresses of everyone that bought stuff.
We then cut to a quiet suburban home. A woman is using knives to chop up food. As she reaches for an apple, a teapot goes off.
I want to talk about this sequence because there's a lot of shit I don't like in this episode. I love this sequence.
Okay. The woman picks up the teapot and pours the boiling hot water.
Because here's the thing I like. This sequence deliberately shows you a few old things so that you don't know which one is cursed.
True.
She grabs a knife out of the knife block and she's cutting fast and you're like, fuck, it's the knife. But then she also, there's something else.
This is a classic supernatural.
There's a meat grinder on the counter and you're like, oh, but something's going to happen with that. And then the teapot is old too. And you're like, like this sequence does a good job of like, is it that? Like just everything makes you tense because you're like, that's the cursed thing, but it's not. It's so well executed. So the opposite of the fucking Swan Lake shit.
Yeah. Except for the end explosion.
Other than the end is dope of that Swan Lake thing, but like this is such like a top to bottom, well executed like
totally
death in Supernatural. I really, really like this one.
Yes.
But yeah, eventually we solidify that the cursed object is the teapot when she grabs it and it's burning her and she picks it up and just full pours the boiling water into her mouth until she's dead.
It's fucking brutal.
Which is great.
Yeah.
That's how I want to go.
Really? There's a scene later that I would rather go that way.
You want to get stabbed by your son?
Yeah, that's it. My motherfucking stepson.
Cool.
And by stabbed, I mean.
Stab son.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. I'm stuck in the knife block, stab son.
Gee, what
Fucking what?
What are we doing?
Scott explains that he found the boxes in a safe covered with mystic sigils.
Yeah, and I thought it was fine, so I just opened it.
Yeah, it's just pretty pictures. I don't understand. The brothers tell him to get the names and the addresses.
It's funny because like, oh yeah, sorry, they do that. Yeah, we see the teapot thing, whatever. But it's funny, somewhere in there or in a later scene, Scott is like, oh, I thought it was all just fucking hokum. I made fun of my mom for fucking years. I made her feel like shit for believing in such stupid fucking shit. What a dumb bitch she was. It was real.
Oh no.
Oopsie. Also, though, if you're his mom,
and
and you run a store, and you also know that cursed things are real and they need to be kept safe, don't put the safe in the store.
Yes.
That's like rule number 1.
I would say not so safe.
Yeah. I mean, just like bury it.
Yeah. Well, she probably is adding things to it occasionally.
Yeah, maybe.
I also want to know what that story is about, like that she has like an antique store that like
spin-off.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. They then go to the first house to get the tea kettle and discover that the woman is dead.
Yeah.
They collect the tea kettle and anonymously call in the death.
Here's the thing. They call in the death and then take what is obviously
the murder device, yeah.
Like, so that now the cops are going to show up and be like, someone called this in. They're no longer here. This woman is scalded from the inside out, and there's no like weapon for that.
Yes.
So now this isn't an accident. Like they just
was murdered.
They made a murder investigation. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And they split up to collect a gramophone and a vintage gentleman's magazine.
Yeah.
A mother turns on a gramophone, but her son Timmy, playing on an iPad, is less than impressed.
I feel like this scene is supposed to be some sort of commentary, but like kids and their phones, the screens, they won't just disconnect and listen to this old fucking tube turn around because it's not even a record.
No.
It's one of those old
wax
fucking
tubes,
wax tubes. And she's like looking at the kid and be like, he doesn't know how good he's got it. We used to have to fucking listen to this.
So is the lesson...
I'm only 40. I love a gramophone.
Yeah.
Like
more like a grandma phone. Also, like, but is the lesson then, like, fucking iPads are sweet. Don't fucking listen to your mom.
Yeah, I know, but like, doesn't it feel like that's the setup of this?
No,
scene?
1,000%.
Kids and their screens. Why can't we just listen to Glenn Miller like we used to?
Yeah, why can't we crank our music on a box? She takes the laundry upstairs, and Timmy hears,
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Yeah. And Timmy hears a voice in the gramophone whispering to him.
Yeah. And the voice is like, just like, hey, Timmy, your mom's a bitch. You should fucking kill her, man.
You should fucking kill your mom. I know, I do wonder what the thing is saying, because I'm like, is it...
Well, no, so...
Is it whispering?
I was watching with subtitles, because I always watch with subtitles. I'm going to slightly forget this, but it does say like, hey, Timmy. And then at some point it's like, there's only one way to know the truth or something. Like it's just saying like vague things. I don't think it ever says like, grab the knife, kill your mom. But it's just saying like, there's only one way you're gonna figure this out. Like it's doing like that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, like the toy that went off in your daughter's bedroom.
I don't want to talk about that. Super creepy.
In the middle of the night.
So creepy.
A is for apple. And also kill your parents.
Yeah. And also arrhythmia. You can make the death look like an accident.
He finally gets over to put his ear to the speaker, and his eyes grow blank.
No.
Grow blank.
Blank.
Yeah, they glow blank.
Yeah. You know when your eyes glow blank? It's on.
He then picks up a kitchen knife and walks towards his mother as she comes back downstairs and sits on the couch.
Yeah. I mean, and she's begging to get murdered.
Yeah.
I'm never going to turn around. I'll just sit here with my like neck ready. I couldn't possibly hear my kid awkwardly shuffling.
Yes. Old house like that's going to be like,
I know. It's like, you deserve it at that point.
As Timmy prepares to strike, Sam comes in and disarms him and takes the gramophone.
This is another sequence of people not behaving like people. Sam busts in.
Yeah.
Stops the kid, but it looks like Sam's holding the knife.
Yeah.
And the woman's like, and then
he's like, where's the gramophone?
Like, where's the gramophone? And she just points. Sam goes to it. The kid yells, that's mine. A kid that was not even interested in it 2 seconds later. And then Sam just leaves with it. And that's that's it.
Also, this kid's such a terrible actor.
He's not great.
He's real bad.
On the scale of child actors we've had on Supernatural, he's nearer the bottom.
Yes, absolutely. Dean calls to say that he got the magazine just in time. This is how I want to go.
Okay, hang on. When he says, I got the magazine just in time, do you think that means before the guy had his dick in his hand or before he finished?
I think it's before he finished.
Yeah. Because he was going to drown.
Well,
with a river of ejaculate.
I did wonder if it's just like he's going to jerk off until he dies. Like the way that the ballerina just like bad danced her feet off.
Like the end of like the Last Crusade.
Yes.
She's just going to like...
Oh,
like,
I figured it would
shrivel
just
and
like
die?
explode his dick in his hand.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant he would dehydrate like a mummy
No.
from constantly coming.
No, I mean that's possible too. I thought it was just he'd make it. He'd so vigorously masturbate,
Right.
That it, yeah,
Yeah, to the bone.
bad.
Yeah, Dean saying just in time left the that's so vague what that
Yes.
could mean. Yeah.
Which I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Sam says that he'll meet Dean at the store with the gramophone while Dean puts the magazine in the trunk. But here's the thing about the magazine though. Like the kettle could be very old.
Sure.
The ballet issues could be very old.
Yeah.
The gramophone most certainly is very old.
It's pretty old, yeah.
Porno mags have only existed since like the 60s or 70s.
That is so fucking naive of you. Have you never seen
Yes, there's like,
an old school fucking like
but that's not the same thing as
a dirty like porno books? They had them in the fucking Klondike. They're part of every museum where we live.
but that's not a gentleman's magazine. That's like a
I know, but
filth pamphlet.
I know, but still, like the point is, these things existed. So, and how long have magazines been around? Like the 20s? It's not a stretch to imagine that there's some kind of like naughty magazine from at least the 20s or 30s or something like that. It's not that crazy. But also, I would totally jack off to one from the 50s.
Oh, showing her ankle.
Yeah, I mean, it's more, I think you're thinking more like Victorian. But,
Yes.
yeah. No, 50s like Mad Men. Oh, I guess Mad Men's the 60s. 50s like first episode of WandaVision.
I mean,
Don't get me started. My TikTok algorithm has swung back around to a lot of Elizabeth Olsen.
oh, and not the what's her name from Game of Thrones,
Oh, wait, who from Game of Thrones?
the Mother of Dragons.
No, not as much. I sent you that one thing, but
I've seen that video a few times now. Yep.
what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with us?
Why does the TikTok know me too well?
Yeah. Oh God, do you want to hear? Okay, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm still gonna say it.
All right, let's hear it.
There was a someone called the so on the newspaper that I work at, the website, we've got Google ads.
Sure.
And there was like slightly explicit like Google ads that were being shown to this guy.
And so they called to complain.
Yes.
And you had to explain that that's like algorithmically based.
Yeah, and then he hung up the phone.
I love that when like Republican senators are like, how come
There's gay porn on my computer.
yeah. It's all over my Facebook.
Yeah.
They go like, well. Yeah.
So fucking funny.
Yeah. I'm just going to do just a real quick survey here. I'm going to tell you how many out of the first 10 TikToks that show up are Elizabeth Olsen related.
Daddy.
Or that. Okay. No.
Okay.
No.
Hey, there you go.
No.
Hey, look, see, you're fine.
No. Yeah. No. No. Do you know what? That was all right.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
It's a great percentage.
Man, am I not horny anymore?
Okay, your phone's just like starting to get hot. Like,
Yeah. Oh God. I got it just in time.
At the store, Scott admits that to Dean that he kept pushing his mother to sell the store.
Yeah, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
All that stupid shit you believe. Get rid of this store. God, you're stupid.
You should just kill yourself.
Yeah. I hope you sell this store then die the next day.
I couldn't believe it actually happened.
Oh no.
And figures that he can change her mind. That he changed her mind. He
Right.
says that his mother agreed to sell the store to Joyce and then died in a car crash the next day. Dean tells Scott to live the way that he thinks his mother would want him to. Puts the items in the safe and tells Scott not to go near the stuff.
He's like, don't touch it. We're gonna get like a trailer, but like in the meantime, do nothing with this fucking thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's a really like healthy response from Dean too. Like he would normally not give this kind of advice to somebody.
Yeah. And it's kind of it is one of those funny ones too, where like for most of this episode, this guy that owns the shop is like, "Oh, it's real. Oh man."
Oh,
He's just like accepts it.
Yeah.
And, like that's sort of fun.
I do like that.
Yeah.
As Dean leaves, he notices that Joyce has bought a lot of property in the area. Joyce calls Mr. Marshall into her office to finish the sale, and she continues to ride George.
Oh.
I mean,
You watched a different version of this episode.
I mean, with Joyce, I mean,
Listen, I wouldn't mind getting bibbed if you know.
yeah. Yeah, she could eat me.
No, you're right.
She offers Marshall the papers, saying that
And she's like, and you can like move on with your life. And then he's like, you know what I was gonna sell, but you're a real bitch.
well,
and
he
then-
says is like, get on with your life. This is my life.
Yeah.
But sure.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, no, of course.
As I want to do.
Yeah.
And then she like shakes his hand like too tight, turns into him, and it's like, oh fuck, she's a Leviathan.
Yep.
She
And-
kills him,
Yeah.
and then she signs for him or whatever. And then she's like, he did it.
George suggests that she might have been quick to the trigger, warning that Dick doesn't like calling attention to themselves. Joyce just glares at him, and George quickly gives in.
Yeah.
And she tells him to take Marshall home and stage an accidental fire.
Yeah. Yeah, light up a cigar, make sure it's
Yeah.
burning.
Hot.
Yeah.
Later, the fire department takes Marshall's body away, while Joyce chuckles in satisfaction.
Also, there's a horrible cut in here. So in this sequence, she says that to him, like, take the body and stage it with a cigar kind of thing. And then we kind of cut immediately back to her office and her and George after he's done that. But there's no scene in between.
Yeah.
It's such an aggressive cut, though. Like, I almost didn't notice that it happened. And I was like, wait, did he do it? Like,
Yeah, it's very fast.
I don't know. Normally on Amazon, when I watch, they'll like cut to black and then come back from it when it's a commercial. But this time it didn't do it. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a commercial break or if it truly is that awkward of a cut.
Oh.
That, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. When Joyce gets a bad cup of coffee, this is the part of the episode that bothers me the most.
This episode is full of so many. I can't tell if maybe they weren't as lazy at the time, but it feels like lazy trope things like the kids on their screens, like that thing, or
Yeah.
like the like snotty ballerina or whatever.
Yes.
And then this one is like the uptight businesswoman that's like, no fat, half calf, like her insane
Yes.
orders. Like, I'll know if it's one pump or two. Like
They all say that. They all want 2 pumps, but
God, that's so fucking greedy.
I will say it drives
Some
me.
of us are working hard out here.
Yeah.
2 pumps.
Yeah, they call us a 1-pump hero.
Yeah. Yeah. Got stars in his eyes.
1-pump hero. It does bother me though from her order because she's like, yeah, half calf blank blank.
Oh yeah, because you're a coffee guy. So
Yes.
like, what did she order? Nonsense.
Yes.
Is it nothing?
Yes,
I
because
wasn't really paying
she's
attention.
like blank 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 blank. She doesn't say what the pump is, and then the drink she asks for at the end is an espresso. Because it's like blank 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 espresso, and I'm like,
Right.
well, no, espresso is just the coffee.
Yeah. Espresso's in every of them.
Yes,
like,
yeah,
all of them.
yeah. If you were like
yeah.
a salted caramel latte, then I'd be like, yeah, you
Yeah.
could ask for
a
those
salted
things.
caramel latte espresso.
Yeah.
Calf.
Well, you don't need to know.
Non.
It really, really bugged me. I was like, this is probably how doctors feel when they watch.
Yeah, when someone's like, we got a kidney atrium in the fucking
Stat.
yeah. Give me 50 cc's of blood.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was
Yeah.
like, this is nothing. When George points out that it's all the way across town, Joyce tells him to get going.
Yeah.
As Sam drives to the store, he starts to doze off and plays the music loud on the radio to stay awake.
I once again love the idea that Leviathans are these super scary, unkillable things that can't teleport or fly.
Yes.
So this super scary monster, unkillable monster, has to walk across town is one of the funniest indignities.
Yes.
I kind of love it.
I love it too. Dean calls from a coffee house and tells him the company behind Joyce's real estate office, GeoThrive Inc., appeared out of nowhere and bought up dozens of stores.
Yeah, and no one is asking questions about that.
Of course not. I mean, though that has happened here and nobody's really talking about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, some good at breaking the news.
Like Antoinette's and a bunch of other places, they've all gotten bought by the same company.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways,
investigative journalism.
Well, I do a little bit of everything.
I wasn't suggesting you should do it.
Oh, yeah. I should probably make some phone calls. Sam tries to focus without success and admits that he's suffering from sleep deprivation and then hangs up.
Yeah.
Dean tries to access Joyce's computer.
He should do coke.
You can't just keep making that recommendation.
One of these days it'll stick.
I got divorced. You should probably do coke.
If not now.
Dean calls Frank for help when he is blocked by a firewall. Sam starts to doze off and goes back and forth across the road. He finally passes out and barely manages to swerve in time to avoid an oncoming truck.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, is this going to have a bearing on the episode? And it's like,
Nope.
No, we're fine. We just had to kill 40 seconds.
Yep. George is getting coffee for Joyce and ends up arguing with the barista because he makes it wrong.
Yeah. He's like, this is 2 pumps. I want 1.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, it's a busy
It's an extra pump.
He's like, it's 2 a.m. and I'm working the coffee shop.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time.
It does look in the middle of the night.
It's 2 a.m. He's like, I can't believe I'm working nights again
Yeah.
here at the hipster coffee bar. I got to pull the fucking night shift again. I don't even see my kids anymore.
George follows Sam to the antique store and wonders if they're there for him. But Joyce says they'd know if the brothers were after them.
Yeah.
When George suggests that he eat them, Joyce tells him to come back to the office immediately. When he gets there, Joyce explains that it's her job to eat the Winchesters. I fucking love to see that.
Glory hog.
Yeah.
Glorious hug.
Yeah.
Talking about Dean, baby.
And makes absolutely sure that they're dead because she doesn't trust George.
Yeah, exactly.
He tries to protest and she tells him to shut up, takes her coffee, and discovers that he messed that up as well.
2 pumps.
Frank calls Dean back and tells him that GeoThrive Inc. belongs to, of course, Dick Roman.
Yeah, he says it's under a subsidiary, under a conglomerate.
Yeah,
or whatever.
under a subsidiary
but
of a conglomerate.
Again, it's somehow connected, and the Dean's like, oh, fuck, Leviathans? Gee.
Yeah, they have no idea how it's all connected, and Frank suggests that Dean get out of Portland before the Leviathans realize that they're there.
Yeah.
I do always love that Frank's always like, okay, it's a bad thing, go.
Yeah.
Like, Bobby used to be like, go kill him. Like,
Yeah.
Frank's just like, oh, no, you're in trouble, get out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, like, I don't give a shit, do what you want.
Yeah, it's not because he cares about them.
No.
It's just like, I don't know, if you're smart and value your skin, you're not going to stick around.
Yeah, but do what you want. Sam arrives to meet Dean, and it's clear that he's out of it from sleep deprivation. However, Sam admits that it doesn't matter where he goes because Lucifer still talks to him.
Yeah. Anywhere you go, I'll follow you, Sam. Oh, yeah. Follow you, Sam, but not that far.
Follow you to hell, but not that far.
Oh, yeah. Some fucking gin blossoms.
Hell yeah, so
baby.
fucking good. Scott calls Sam to tell him that he's looked into one of his mom's old mirrors, and now he wants to rip his own face off.
Yeah.
However, I mean, I've seen him. Not much of a looker.
Yeah, the craziest thing is that the mirror's not even cursed.
Yeah. He's just, ugh.
I just can't look at myself anymore.
Why did I say those things to my mom?
Yeah, I'm racked with guilt.
Yeah. However, once he hangs up, Joyce and George tell him that he did the job, and then she takes off her scarf and gags him. Thank you.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that this Leviathan realtor is 100% my type, but
Leviathan realtor is a category
Leviathan
on Pornhub.
realtor, I've been typing in.
Yeah. Yeah. Let the demon go check out the other room.
Leviathan realtor, typing that into porn. Also, I just told on myself too much. I was miming doing this on my phone and was not typing on a computer. So we know how and when I'm using that.
Wait, why'd you pick up your phone?
Oh, nothing. Nothing you need to worry your pretty little head about.
I just hear "Rah!" in the next room.
If you hear that drum riff, leave.
Joyce says that they'll wait until the Winchesters arrive and then dispose of them. As George ties up Scott, Joyce tells them that they'll kill him, and George will take on his form for the next 30 years to make sure that no one realizes that Scott is dead.
Right.
The brothers pull up outside with a U-Haul truck for the cursed items and come in to find Joyce and George waiting for them.
Sorry, just 1 second. Rent by fuck, come threesome with the realtor. I typed in Leviathan realtor and I wanted to see what would come up. So that's number one. Number two, sexy realtor shows more than a house to handsome potential buyer.
Not really seeing the whole supernatural component
No,
here.
there's not a lot of Leviathan, like not even like a Leviathan cock. Like
Yeah.
there's not, like that's not making it in here at all. Realtor is really taken over as a search term.
I mean, it's not a bad one. Everyone's...
I love when a title is just words but not a sentence. So, for example, my BBC realtor fucks my big ass cheating wife pussy. All right.
Look.
No, nothing Leviathan.
But a great category because everybody's an adult, typically.
And, people are like kind of dressed nicely.
Yeah. Cute outfits. Oh, my God. I mean, pencil skirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
I think we both found that cursed magazine.
yeah. I almost hashtag ruined the podcast. Dean hashtag ruined that guy's day when he took the fucking...
Jesus Christ.
That guy was like, it was a curse, but you hashtag ruined my...
You didn't have to say hashtag.
Yep.
Leviathans attack and Sam fights with George, who whispers to him a dunk dunk him into the basket.
Yeah, so
the bucket of cleanser.
So yeah. George is like kind of like, I don't really want to fight right now. Like, dude, like I'll help, like just make it look like we're fighting.
Yeah.
But he's like, there's a bucket of that stuff that hurts us here, loose in this realtor's office.
Yeah, that's a thing I really didn't get.
With the lid off already.
Yeah,
so it's like, all right, for narrative convenience.
Literally no setup for why borax is there.
I mean, listen, I know it's a cleaning agent, and yeah, they're selling houses, but why is it in their office
in a giant
huge bucket? He's like bobbing for apples in this fucking thing, and the lid's off. So this episode's so fucking lazy.
It really is. And two people wrote it.
Yeah.
He tells Sam to dunk him first, and Sam obliges, and then George tells him to grab a sword.
Yeah. For some reason, there's a sword.
Yeah,
also
there also
in
is a
this
sword in this room.
So cool.
Yeah, it's a sword
There's a
cleaning
big
company.
bucket of borax and a sword. The two things that are in every room.
Yeah. That's why it's so common that you would just expect him to be.
This is fine.
Sam breaks it out of the case and decapitates Joyce just as she prepares to kill Dean.
Yeah. He puts Dean puts the head in a bag and whatever. He puts the head bag in the safe, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
As the brothers clean up, Scott worries that he can't abandon his life. However, the brothers tell him that the Leviathans have a long memory, and Scott reluctantly goes.
Yeah.
Once he's gone, George explains that he wants to eat Joyce to make sure that she's dead.
Yeah, he says, like, I want to know what that bitch tastes like. Oh, well, easy.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
Hashtag Leviathan Realtor.
Yeah. Right? When they wonder if he's on their side, George explains that it was either kill Joyce or have her boss him around for the rest of his existence. For some reason, he chose.
Yeah, I think he chose wrong, man.
Fully. He smiles and assures them that they're allies for a moment, and the brothers tell him that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and then they're like, tell us more about the plan. And he's like, okay, for no reason.
Yes. Sam puts down the sword to his neck, and they demand to know. George explains that Joyce was getting impatient about killing people, and that the big picture is that Dick is buying property everywhere.
Yeah.
He tells them to keep their heads down, but Dean tells him to explain what's going on or they'll apply more of the chemical. The ex-assistant gives in and explains that Dick is building a research center for disease in Wisconsin, and they're going to cure cancer.
Yeah, and they're like, why would the monsters want to cure cancer?
And George is like, because we're only here to help.
Yeah.
Next day, the Winchesters head out with the cursed items, and Dean tells Sam to get some sleep. They drive to Frank's RV, but get no answer when they knock.
Yeah, this is where we have Bad Moon Rising.
Yeah, they
break
go
in and it's all trashed, and there's blood and glass and stuff on the floor. And yeah, Frank's been.
There's no sign of Frank, alive or dead.
Yeah,
that's the end of the episode.
Yep.
What did you think of the episode?
I mean, again, this episode is like, hey, is this a Cursed Objects episode? And then it's so aggressively boring.
Yeah.
That they're like, oh, is this a Leviathans episode? And you go like, I guess.
Is this a Sam's Lucifer episode?
Nope.
Nah, I mean, enough that you could call it that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is an insomnia episode.
Yeah, it is called Lucifer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that it doesn't do any of these things very well. It's super lazy.
Yeah.
Like, all the narrative contrivances of the world are on display. Like, it's a really sloppy. It's an episode that feels like someone was like, "Can you put those two episodes together?"
Yes.
And it's so bad that it kind of distracts from what is a pretty cool twist. Like, there's an interesting twist of like learning this thing about the monsters that it's like, wait, like we know they're bad because they kill. But
yes,
what could their plan possibly be if it involves curing cancer? And like, that's interesting.
Yes.
And you go like, oh, great, leave it there. And it's like, no, we're going to tack one more scene on Frank's missing. Ignore this shit.
A thing that could happen at the beginning of the next episode.
And it undermines the thing where it's like, are these, like, even for a moment, you should be like, are they not as bad as I think they are? But when you go like, oh, they got to Frank, and you go like, no, they're bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even if you would come back around to that eventually, you should like leave a little bit of like a little
for the
question,
next week,
you know? But it's like, no, they're bad. They got Frank. So like, well, the fuck me then, you know? Like, why? We've been here for 50 minutes. Why? Like, why is
totally?
It's just so. It's
lazy.
It's just lazy, and it undermines itself.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really learn anything.
Nope.
Yeah. I'd give this like a 2.5 scarves in my mouth, please.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. It's the dialogue is even bad in this episode. Yeah. Like it's poorly written. It's a mess with its direction. It's constantly making choices for no fucking reason. It's cut poorly. Like, it's a bad episode. I would go. I mean, I gave it a 2.5, which is maybe generous, but I think it's maybe the worst episode since Bugs. Yeah, the only thing
I go out and say,
yeah,
and go that far. It's not as bad as Bugs, but it's close.
Yeah, it's the only redeeming factor in this is the actors that play the real estate agents are great.
Yes, they're really good.
They're really well done. They really play well off each other. Like, though they're poorly written and full of like tacky tropes and stuff, it's like they're so close to making him like the gay sidekick that what like George like.
Yeah,
it's some of it's really bad, but it is fun. Their sort of role. So I think it's the only thing that will redeem it.
But again, then you intro them like they don't even get like 2 episodes to do shit. Like, ugh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it 2.5 tugs to death.
Oh my god! Yeah, just in time.
Yeah. All right. Well, those were our reviews. But before we go, we've got a couple notes from a fellow hunter.
Ooh, all right.
From fellow hunters. Fellows hunter.
Yeah, from fellows hunter.
All right. The first note. Hey, gents. Long time, first time.
Ooh.
I'm not a physician. I mean, yeah, me, it was short time, first time, but
easy. Yeah, actually.
Yeah. I'm not a physician, but I did do a part of my PhD doing a bit of comparative genetics.
Oh, fuck yeah.
On bacteria.
Fuck yeah.
But the idea is the same.
Give it to me.
A lot of genetic testing that's done to determine the relatedness and by association to see if DNA sample matches a particular suspect is done using a combination of polymerase chain reaction, PCR, a technique that makes millions of copies of small bits of DNA.
Right.
Your boy knows lots about small bits of DNA.
I got millions of copies of DNA for you right
here. And restriction enzymes, small molecular machines that cut DNA at a very specific sequences. Since we know the general sequence of the human genome, we know where DNA in all people is the same and where it can be variable.
Right.
So we can make many copies of the bits of DNA that have some variation, then snip them into variable size pieces.
Interesting.
Using that knowledge, we can create DNA fingerprints, like the one in the attached image, which I'll show you in a minute, and people's shared ancestry. We can theoretically identify relationships that are not only parent and offspring or siblings, but that's right. I wrote sibling/sibling.
Uh-oh.
But potentially even more distant relationships. But the thing is, the initial PCR process relies on the known similarities for humans. We have those universal sequences that are where the process begins. Right. Other organisms, mythological or mundane, may not share those sequences and could be different enough that the PCR would fail outright, indicating the sample was non-human.
Okay, well, there you go.
A sufficiently driven scientist could follow the same procedure with DNA known to be shared by all primates, or mammals, or all mammals, or eukaryotic organisms, to try and determine the relatedness of the sample to humans. But the further out you go from humanity, the lower
things are variable.
The lower the resolution of identification becomes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's worth noting that modern science can overcome this challenge more easily with something called next generation sequencing technology, which this just sounds like fucking Star Trek shit.
Make it so.
Yeah, which can read entire genetic sequences without the same limitations. But while that tech existed at the time of this episode, it would have been prohibitively expensive and required skills to do. It is not in the wheelhouse of an assistant coroner.
Interesting.
Keep up the good work, Dr. Guy.
Hey. That's awesome.
And
thank you.
Here is the sequence.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah. Okay, I've seen those. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
nice.
Let's go to the next one.
All right, hit me.
Hi, guys. I saw Splice in the theater in undergrad when I was studying genetic engineering.
I forgot that I brought Splice up.
Yes.
Man, that movie's so fucked up.
So it was super relevant.
Ugh.
When they were studying genetic engineering. That's right.
Yeah.
Too genetic.
Yeah. And what's the lesson from genetic engineering? Don't fuck the thing you create, lest it come back and fuck those you love.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what happens in Splice.
Yeah. Also,
he has sex with it. It changes genders. It fucks someone else.
Also, the deleted scene of the doctor in Jurassic Park fucking a brontosaurus.
Yeah. We had to fill in the gaps in the DNA.
He's humping in the air.
Yeah. Clever girl.
They do move in herds.
Oh, I do come in her.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I was so concerned with whether or not I could make the joke. I didn't consider whether I should.
Yeah. Any more?
No, I'm all right.
Okay. And I made all my friends upset with me when I made them watch it later.
Yes. I mean, your friends are right.
It's super fucked, and now I want to watch it again.
Oh, that movie's so messed up.
I also...
And, like, again, I brought up Splice, like, to have fun, but, like, severe, like, trigger warnings, sexual assault trigger warnings if you watch Splice. Splice is, like, the most sexually aggressive sci-fi movie I've ever seen.
Remember when you subtly, I think it was on Dr. DC, convinced everybody to rewatch a Serbian film?
I didn't convince anyone. I said, don't watch it, and that was on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Do not watch a Serbian film. That's not me inviting you to do it. I'm
challenging
legitimately telling you not to do it. It's so upsetting, much like Splice.
I also have a PhD in molecular biology and work as a research scientist, so I have some answers to your recent questions.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
I fucking love it.
2 fucking genetic questions, baby.
Yeah.
2 genetic emails. And none of them to do with whether I'm the father.
Of what?
You don't want to know.
Oh, no.
I tried not to make it too long.
Okay.
You and me both.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure that's a problem for you.
In The Slice Girls, the coroner says that the DNA found on the body came back as not human.
Right.
And you wanted to know how they would know that. I'm not a forensic scientist, but my understanding is typically, in this instance, they would do an STR, a short tandem repeats profile analysis. This amplifies regions of the genome that could have short sequences repeated multiple times and compare how many repeats occur at each locus between samples to determine a match.
Right.
I think using non-human DNA would give odd results since at least some of the target sequences would be different than in humans and not amplify. I also saw that there are dog-specific STR tests, for example.
Oh, okay.
Potentially, the number of chromosomes in a cell could tell you if the cell is non-human.
Oh,
or,
sure, that's true.
Or if you did DNA sequencing and compared the sequences to databases, human and chimp DNA has 98.8% similarity.
Right.
But humans also have about a 3.1 billion base pairs in the genome, which is 6.2 billion base pairs total across 46 chromosomes per nucleus. That 1.2 difference is still over 30 million bases that are different in some way.
Right.
And that base are belong to us.
Yeah, of course. All that base.
Yeah.
All about that base are belong to us.
Oh my God. Someone needs to make that.
I am the meme lord.
Many genes are different, are a different length, as well as an altered sequence in other species. Since most monsters in Supernatural look human, I would assume that they'd have a lot more sequence similarity with humans.
Right.
So maybe some of the STR loci could work, but just not all of them. I don't know how much the police department would do to figure this out, though. DNA sequencing is still expensive and might be have to be contracted out if it's not something they regularly do.
Right.
In the next episode, you asked if identical twins have the same fingerprints. No.
What?
Parts of fingerprint patterns are inherited, but the way that they form isn't completely dependent on the gene sequence. So
Holy
twins'
shit.
prints form differently. So a clone wouldn't have the same fingerprints as the original person either.
Holy shit. So anyone out there who's a twin who thinks you can get away with murder by making a reasonable doubt.
Yeah. You're wrong.
You got some calls to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, any twins, give me a call.
I don't know. It's weird, right?
It is weird. Yeah, I know.
Like, from one perspective, like one person hot duplicated just on the surface. You go,
Yeah.
great, too hot.
Yeah.
But for them, you'd be like,
No,
I'm at the
agree.
point in my life now where I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, what set you on this path?
Yeah.
If you're twins that want to do this,
Oh no, yeah,
how
I know.
did you get here? And I feel like I can't.
No.
I can't.
No. You're a father. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm older now. My tastes have matured.
Yeah, you're more interested in real estate agents.
I kind of need to know where my food comes from. Like
Preach. Keep being nasty, Dr. Laura.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Laura.
Thank you.
Dr. Guy and Dr. Laura. Or Guy. Is it Dr. Guy?
It could be.
Yeah. Sacré bleu.
Yeah. The PhD.
Yeah. Sorry, say PhD like that one more time.
PhD.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I don't know that if you just did that on its own, anyone would even know you were trying to do French.
They might think something.
Hey, you guys.
You keep seeing on TikTok
Because I love you.
There was one.
You're gonna come live with me now.
There was one that it was like when my girlfriend asked me to come live with her.
Yeah,
and it's like this.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to continue this discussion about genetics and the human genome on our Discord, you can do so.
Go to patreon.com/ghostfacers. For only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio, our awesome community Discord server.
Also known
I'll
as
be over
Discord.
there. We're hosting a Splice watch party.
It's a double feature: Splice and a Serbian film.
Splice and a Serbian film.
It takes a sharp left turn.
Yeah. We're gonna warm up with some lighter fare, Splice. And then we're gonna watch a Serbian film. Yeah, no, it helps to support us. You get to meet some fun people that also listen to the show.
Also, if you have a note about a past or future episode, much like the doctors had done today, you can send us an email to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
Ghostfacers Pod, wherever we are.
Don't forget to subscribe so you can get our episodes automatically in your feed every single week. And while you're on that platform, would you give us a 5-star review and we'll read it on a future episode. If it's not on Apple Podcast or Facebook, just make sure you send a screenshot and we will read it. Also, if you want your hashtag ruined Leviathan real estate agent shirt, you can get it at ghostfacerspodcaststore.com.
I feel like we should be getting some actual merch printed. We'll talk about that off mic.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I know. I thought of the same thing. Also, if you are interested in the content that we produce in this episode and every one prior each week,
nice.
You might enjoy our other podcast,
Dr. DC Podcast. We're talking about DC Comics. We answer listener questions. We talk about superheroes and the lore of superheroes. So if you like how we talk about all that kind of stuff over here, you might enjoy how we talk about magic and curses and powers and things like that over there.
That's right. And that is it for this week. Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.